Hey travelers, Mag, I, and Truax Outdoor here on day 58 of our trip across the United States. Today is still an admin day. That means there's minimal geocaching today, although I did find a couple of geocaches. Mostly though, today has just been to catch up on a lot of documentation on the back end and just other things that I haven't been able to handle. We've been consistently on the road for the last couple of weeks. It's been really nice to spend the weekend with Truax here. Not only, of course, you got to see, did we do Michigan's oldest Power Island, which was absolutely amazing.
That was fun.
But we also got to tour around Dublin, Wellston, and in general, just hang up and catch up after 20 years of not seeing each other, which, you know, is a pretty darn long time.
It's been kind of surreal.
It has been very surreal.
But awesome. Like, you know, we last time we hung out, we were what, 19?
19, and it was just that one night before that. I think it was 3 years before that, too.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's been a long time, but, well, during middle school especially, we were, like, very good friends, hanging out all the time, had similar family styles and everything, bonded us together and whatnot. We played video games. Yeah, he played video games, me too. Uh-oh, my dog Finn's coming. And that's all right.
That history has made it much easier for us to just click right back into place. And we got lucky. Finn has joined us too, but I don't expect that Finn is going to stay like Aichan is. Aichan's also had a lot of fun on this weekend that we've had. She's gotten time to hang out with Annie, Finn, and Tank, which you saw, as well as goats and
yeah, pretty much a farm in the backwoods of northern Michigan. But today, Mag wanted to sit down and do kind of a question and answer, because maybe you guys have some questions, I had some questions, and we're going to kind of do that format and see how it goes. So I'm kind of taking the lead now from you here, Mag, and
please.
We'll kind of go with that, because I'm sure your followers want to know some of these things. And I had some questions too when we first started to make contact again and all that. What was your life like before you started doing these geocaches?
Before I started doing geocaching, I had just come off of active duty. I'd gone from Camp Pendleton, California to Jacksonville, Florida, and leaving the Marine Corps had kind of left a hole in my life as far as travel and adventure goes, because let's be honest, when you're in the Marine Corps, that's part and parcel of what you're doing. You're traveling and adventure. You put up your hand for a deployment, or you don't put up your hand, you're told you're going on a deployment, and next thing you know, you're in this country or you're at this fob, and it's excitement all the time. And then I got in the civilian side, wearing collared t-shirts, and I wasn't quite sure what to do. And then with the major I was working with at the time, she took me out on one of our first sites and showed me geocaching, and I realized right away, hey, this is going to fill that gap in my life that has been left from the Marine Corps, to be able to get out and go see these places through geocaching.
Very cool. Yeah, so now we know that you're doing a kind of geocache across America, hitting every county in America, right, is the goal. Why?
When I'd started geocaching, I'd already gotten into geocaching the counties. I had found that aiming at each of the counties gave me a reason to go see the states in more depth than just a lot of people might do by going up to the state side and going, look, welcome to Texas, snapping their photo and then moving on. Instead, you really get a feel for a place by having to go to all those nooks and crannies. So over the course of 13 years with many geocaching friends across the country, we've toured up to half the counties. And now that I'm getting ready to depart the United States, maybe permanently, I wanted to see the rest of the country before I really did my swan song.
Now that's kind of a big hole there that you left. So what do you mean by depart the United States, maybe permanently?
Mrs. Mag and I have always talked about the potential of living in Japan. And part of that was if we'd started in the United States, then we were probably going to end up in Japan when we were later in our lives. So here we are later in our lives, our children are a bit older. We want them to have that cultural influence, that they're half Japanese, half American, and they've had half of their young lives here in the States, so the other half we want to try and do in Japan so they can experience the other side of things.
So you mentioned your family. Where are they?
Right now they're in Japan. Day one of this trip was also the same day they flew. They left the country at about 2 a.m. that morning. At 6 a.m. I was on my way out to Aichan to Central Park, and our adventure was starting. and we've committed up to a year to be able to complete all the counties in the country. And after planning the whole thing out, I was able to determine that it was feasible to do within a year, realistically, even taking a few days out here and there to see old friends like you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big country, so that's a huge undertaking.
We've had a great first half of our run through Michigan, and we cannot express in words how much we enjoyed being able to take the trip out to Power Island, Truax Outdoors on a canoe. That really was the cherry on top of our midway point of this trip. And we're really looking forward to the next half, being able to move our way up to the Upper Peninsula. We're going to finally be moving away from the cities because lower Michigan is really populated. I was expecting a lot more farmland. Instead, what we saw was little town after little town, and there was always kind of people around. I know that when we get to the Upper Peninsula, that's going to spread out a little bit, and we're going to get a lot more lakes, a lot more nature.
Yeah, you're going to have more wilderness. You know, it won't be farm, it won't be people, it'll be wilderness, which is wonderful. And there are people, of course, but there'll be a lot of wilderness. So, one thing, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions that you'd like to, have Mag answer, ask them, and he might be happy to answer it. He might not. Some of the more personal ones, obviously, probably not going to want to answer. But yeah, go in the comments because it helps the algorithm, and we greatly appreciate that. Also, if you like outdoor stuff, come and check out Truax Outdoors. We post content semi-regularly. I've been really busy lately. We've got a lot of life stuff going on, so my content creation has been a little lax, but we are still slowly getting content out and everything, so we appreciate those of you who do go over there and check that out. One thing I wanted to mention to your followers, and hopefully it gets through to however many people start, becoming subscribers and everything, is two things. First, if you have the ability to get out and you're like, hey, I'm seeing all this stuff and I want to go experience this, go do it. There's no perfect time. There's no time for to be ready. It just is simply you get out, go and do it and enjoy the outdoors. Secondly, if you can't get out, one of the things that Mag and I love about being able to have this platform and do this with you all is that you get to tag along with us. We get to take you, our friends, and we view you that way, out on these experiences with us. So let's say that you can't get out and go do it. Man, we are so happy to provide that for you. The only thing that we would ask from you guys is, hey, share this content with your friends so that way it gets out there, because there are other people just like you that may not be able to get out in the wilderness, and we would love to provide this for them too.
Thank you guys again for watching and joining in, and I do hope you continue to enjoy this adventure with us. China and I will be back on the road tomorrow hitting it again. So we'll see you out on the trails.